Hello, my name is Guy Jones. I'm originally from the Standing Rock Reservation in South Dakota. I am full-blooded Hunkpapa Lakota. In the history books, you are taught to call my people Sioux. Sioux, of course, is a word that is not a part of our linguistic family. So, it's like, but we are Lakotas. I am Lakota because that is the language that my people speak, and Hunkpapa is my responsibility. That is a different perception that most of you will probably ever hear about. But, it's I came here to Ohio in 1981, and when I came here to Ohio, there were these places, and I began to walk these places and visit these places, and I was like, now remember, I said I'm Lakota. And I was born and raised on the Standing Rock Reservation, and what we refer to as the Lakowichoha, which is a way of living. That's how my background, that's my experience. So how I look and view these earthworks are from that perspective. And that was one of the things, is that as I begin to look at these earthworks and I begin to read and communicate and talk with members of the various communities, the archaeological community, the various historic communities, and these organizations and groups that oversaw these sites, I began to realize the dialogue, in a sense, the dialogue with which their history and their knowledge came from, where they were coming from. I understood it, but they were having a hard time understanding where I was coming from. And so it created a dialogue. And that was one of the things, is that I want to really encourage people, because with those dialogues, to gain a better understanding of what these sites really are. And once we gain that understanding, maybe then, America, as what we know to be, America will understand that how sacred and special these places really are. And I mean, that the stories, today, June 21st, is International World Peace and Prayer Day. This is part of, because most of our stories and our way of life is part of, our stories come from creation. And when we look at creation, the alignments, not only the lunar alignments, but the solar alignments, they are significant in our way of life and our way of living. It affects not only culturally, but even spiritually. We can relate to them. And this is that time of the year when all of us, when we look at this time, it is special because of just the significance of the solstice itself. This year is going to be kind of special, mainly for the fact that there's going to be a solar eclipse on June 21st, but also too the fact that people are going to be gathering. And we're asking people to gather all over the world. My cousin, Orville Lookenhorse, years ago, with the birth of the white buffalo calf, received, a message, and he wanted to bring that message to the world, that on this day, that we gather and we all come together, people from all walks, because we all speak the same language. It just sounds different. And that was one of the things that, so we are, when we look at humanity, we need to begin to look at life itself from that one family, that one prayer, one faith, from that oneness of all things, because we have a relationship, and having that relationship in regards to what is here, what has been, and what we have to come. And we have the ability to make a better tomorrow. And those stories, all of those things are here, and they are part of our stories and other stories as well. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to walk these grounds and visit with various people from different nations of indigenous people, and people from South America, from Oklahoma. A lot of people in Oklahoma, this is their ancestral homeland, and we must always remember that. And I always remember that. And when I walk these grounds, I always, I listen. I listen to their stories, because their stories, I find a commonality in those stories. And and it's like, and that's one of the things, is that if we begin to listen to one another, we'll actually begin to find our common ground, the commonality of humanity. And that's one of the things that I really encourage people, in a sense, to listen to each other, for to develop these understandings, these relationships, to listen. So I've listened to those stories and the significance of these sites and these earthworks, and how these earthworks, and everybody related that I've talked to, whether they were Comanche or whether they were Potawatomi, they were those stories. The Shawnees have stories. The Lenape people, they have stories. And I listen to those stories. The Senecas, they have stories, and they can relate to these sites. And so there's a commonality, and how important these sites are, and what it tells us about not only who we are culturally, but it also gives us a very deep insight into the spiritual aspect of who we are. And there's a lot of people today who have a tremendous amount of concerns in regards to these things are getting lost and forgotten. Well, they're right here. They're right here on these grounds. And if we would just take the time to go and to come here and to visit these sites and see these places, we would see the cultural and spiritual significance of these earthworks that are here in Ohio. And there's a lot of them. And it would literally take weeks to visit all of these sites. And these are our stories. This is our place, and they are special, and they are sacred. And this is, one of the things that what we're encouraging people to do is that, to come to these sites, visit them, but also to, on June 21st, because of what we are currently in today in regards to the pandemic, we're asking people to, stay within your home. You can stay within your home and light a candle. Light a candle and let that flame unite with other flames throughout the world, so that we can create this uniqueness, a better future for all of us, for humanity. And say your prayers. Prayer is very powerful. And so that's what we're saying. It's like one prayer, many faiths, one prayer. And if we will all pray and unite as a people for a better tomorrow, there's power in that. And that's something that we as human beings, the two-leggeds, we can go and do and accomplish on that day, June 21st.
こんにちは。ワールドピースプレイヤーで2004年、マウント富士の事務局を担当した岡野博樹です。今回コロナウイルス感染拡大を受けて、配信での開催が決定いたしました。日本事務局を代表して少しお話をさせていただきます。私は普段音楽家をなりわいとしておりますが、ワールドピースプレイヤーデーの提唱者であるチーフ・アーバン・ルッキングホースの教えに感銘を受けて、今から16年前、5人の事務局の仲間と共に日本全国にワールドピースプレイヤーデーの開催を呼びかけてまいりました。その呼びかけに日本全国の約400人近いボランティアの方々が応えてくださり、そして夏至の日には日本全国世界中から7000人近い方々がおいでになり、祈りの場が生まれました。昨年私たちの友人であり事務局の代表であった海老原芳恵さんがスピリットの世界に旅立ちました。私たちは彼女の御霊と共にこの2020年の夏至の日の祈りを日本全国の皆さんに呼びかけてまいりました。そのことはそれぞれが住む各々の場所、自分の足元こそが聖地であり、母なる地球の上なんだということを感じさせてもらい、それは大きな気づきになったというふうに感じています。 2004年のワールドピースプレイヤーデー日本開催の後、全国で多くの方々が夏至の日の祈りを続けていらっしゃいます。2005年からは海老原芳恵さんが中心となり、富士での祈りが続いていました。2005年から4年間、富士山の周りを4カ所で約200人ぐらいの方々のギャザリングが続いていました。それ以後もセレモニーは続いています。また、2004年の参加者のお一人お一人が、各々の場所で祈りの場を作ってくださっています。2004年、アイヌ民族の代表として参加してくださったアイヌアートプロジェクトの結城浩二さんは、このようなメッセージを我々に送ってくださいました。祈りの母は愛であり、祈りの父は大地である。祈りの子供たちは言葉であり、愛を持つ私たちである。すべての命に愛を祈り捧げます。私はワールドピースプレイヤーデーにそんな大きな世界を見ました。
しかし今を生きる私たちアイヌにはこれが本当の昔話かどうかを確かめる術があります。それはこの土地、この北海道はエゾオオカミをネタヤシにして北海道どころか日本国中のオオカミをネタヤシにしてしまったのが私たち人間という生き物だから。私がこの小さな物語を皆さんに伝えるとき、それは自分への戒めと、熊が町に降りてきて騒いで熊を殺して、ああよかったと騒いでるあなた方への戒めと、それを悲しむその心、しぱせかむりそんのやれないけれ。
また、当時、夜の会場に祈りのキャンドルを灯してくださったキャンドル・ジュンさんは、日本の新潟、熊本、長野など災害被災地、そして原発事故のあった東北には毎月赴き、祈りの灯火を灯し、輪を広げてくださっています。海老原芳恵さんもその会場には何度も赴き、歌を届けておられました。夏至以外にも当時の参加者の方々が中心となり、日本古来からの聖地でのギャザリングも多数行われています。本来日本に残る古代の祈りもまた、自然界に神を、仏を見出してきた歴史があります。そのことはチーフハーバルルッキングホースが我々に伝えてくださったそれぞれの国の聖地を敬い、尊び、そして古代の祈りの復活にもつながると 私たちは信じています。ある時は聖なる山の頂上で、沖縄の古代の歌木で、アイヌとヤマトの古戦場で平和を祈り、母なる地球が平穏であるように、祈り、舞い、歌う。そのような素晴らしい活動が全国で続いています。私自身も2005年から聖地での奉納演奏や日本古来の山岳修験、山河を祈り歩き、自然界に神仏を感じる修行、続けてまいりました。私はこの山岳修験も最近では多くの若者が参加してくださっているように感じています。しかし、今の私たちが住む日本には、未来に不安を感じずにはいられない問題が山積みしています。2004年の夏至の祈りから7年後、2011年3月11日、日本列島を大きな地震が襲いました。そして原子力発電所が大変な大事故を起こし、大気に、大地に、そして海に莫大な放射性物質が流出しました。それは人間を含むたくさんの命を傷つけ、そして今も続いています。現地に住む友人姉妹たちはその問題に正面から向き合い、今も活動を続けてくれていますが、簡単に収束するようなことではありません。また、近年、種子法改正案が国会に提出されたことにより、国に守られていた農作物の種子の管理、研究、生産がなくなり、国内外の企業による GMO 種子が幅を利かせてくることがとても懸念されます。 また、種苗法という農作物の自主採取ができなくなる法律が通ろうとしています。日本列島のほとんどは山です。その山々もまた大きな問題を抱えています。高齢化に伴い里山は荒廃し、山村文化が消滅の危機にあります。第二次大戦後の拡大造林政策による植樹や畜産振興のための森林伐採、本来の生態系バランスが崩れてしまい、それによって野生動物が激増、山々に住む動物たちが食べるものを失い、里や村の人々の作物を荒らしていきます。それを名目に多くの自然動物が個体調整という観点から年間何万頭というレベルで殺処分されているという現状があります。私はこの動物たちの御霊の安穏を祈り、その川で太鼓作りを続けながら今の現状を伝えていく活動を山に住む友人たちと共に今も続けています。2004年の WPPD は私たちに多くの気づきをもたらしてくれました。あの場所でまかれた祈りの種は確実に芽を出し、そして祈りの場を全国に広げてくれているように私は感じています。冒頭にもお伝えしましたが、昨年スピリットの世界に旅立った事務局の代表、海老原芳恵さんが生前残した歌、木を植えようを彼女への追悼とともにお送りしたいと思います。
大地の危機を感じ取って山の命が里に降りる、風の向きが変わったので鳥は旅することをやめる。大地の危機を感じ取って山の命が里に降りる、風の向きが変わったので鳥は旅することをやめる。伝えてるよ私たちに、傷んでるよ祈っているよ。武器を捨てて木を植えよう、楽器を片手に歌い踊ろう。お互いの命、未来の命、一つの縁の中で生きる。海を旅する命たちは進む道を見失い、行けども 中で生きる振り上げた拳開いてみよう世界を変えるのは愛の力お互いの命未来の命一つの縁の中で生きる一つの縁の中で生きる一つの縁の中で生きる
よしえちゃんの御霊の安穏を祈りたいと思います。彼女は事務局の中で本当に母のようにみんなをいつも愛して大きな目線で見てくれていました。彼女がいてくれたから僕たち事務局もなんとかまとまって大きな祈りの場を作ることができたように思います。ここで2004年の日本でのワールドピースプレイヤーデーのドキュメンタリーをご覧いただきたいと思います。2004年のワールドピースプレイヤーデー4日間、7000人近い方々がおいでくださった祈りの場の映像を見るとき、今も私たちの心に希望が湧いてきます。90分という長さですが、ぜひご覧ください。
World Peace and Prayer Day is a gathering initiated by Chief Orville Lookinghorse, spiritual leader of the Lakota Sioux people. It's a call for all nations, all people, all faiths, to gather at sacred sites around the world and pray for world peace and the healing of Mother Earth. Starting in 1996, World Peace and Prayer Day was held for 5 years in 5 different locations in North America. It then traveled to Ireland in 2001, South Africa in 2002, Australia in 2003, and to Mount Fuji, Japan in 2004. At the World Peace and Prayer Day held at Mount Fuji, over 7,000 people from around the country and from around the world attended, including native delegates from various parts of the world. Events were held on June 19th and 20th at the Asagiri Outdoors Activity Center, located at the foothill of Mount Fuji. On June 21st, Solstice Gathering was held at the Asagiri Arena. On June 18th, a charity concert organized by the local community was held at Fujinomiya Citizens Cultural Hall. Similar charity concerts and gatherings had been held throughout Japan during the preceding year to raise funds for World Peace and Prayer Day. Over 60,000 flyers were passed from person to person, and the funds necessary for the main gathering was collected through donations and sales of support merchandise.
Tina, Homie, Huye, Tai.
On June 19th, the opening ceremony was held at the Outdoors Activity Center. Starting with the message of Orville Looking Horse, messages from overseas delegates were presented. A symposium on the ancient culture of Japan followed.
Hello everyone.
ただいまより
With this, I would like to announce the opening of World Peace and Prayer Day 2004, Japan.
開催いたします。
And already we have went to different countries, different nations throughout the world to pray with people like people from Ireland and South Africa, Australia, then here in Japan. We prayed, it's part of our tradition to always start the prayer and ask the Creator to bless us on this day. We're well represented from different countries and nations are here today with us, and I'd like to say thank you, Wopila, for each representatives and all the volunteers and people that have helped us bring this beautiful energy together. World Peace and Prayer Day, I'd like to read a statement. We are at the crossroads, either be faced with a lot of chaos, disasters, sicknesses, viruses, tears from our relatives' eyes, or we can unite spiritually with nations upon Mother Earth throughout the world. I am wearing a medallion, and it shows here a white buffalo calf. And all the places that we have gone to, there's white animals showing their sacred color in different countries throughout the world. So we are the voice for the environment, and we are the voice for our children, the future generations, and everything that is, because we believe that everything that is upon Mother Earth has a spirit. We as nations upon Mother Earth, we have many sacred sites and sacred places to pray from. As we now in a new millennium, we know that we're faced with earth changes and climate changes and global warming. But we are here as a mind, body, and spirit, and we're going to change to bring a balance back to Mother Earth. Many nations throughout the world are looking towards us today. But it's very important that this is a spiritual gathering for world peace and global healing. On June 21st, we pray that someday he'll be recognized as international holiday. We can create an energy shift upon Mother Earth. May peace be with each and every one of you. Mitaku Oase, thank you.
Good afternoon, and I greet you with my heart. So this journey has been led by prayer, and everybody that has come to help, I believe that the Spirit has guided them. Just as each and every one of you that are sitting here, you're very important to what's going to happen to the world and for the future generations. So what that's saying is Mother Earth needs us. And what we're trying to explain is Mother Earth's aura, her embodiment is the ozone layer. And we've caused that poisoning in the air, and we're killing her spirit, so it's leaving holes in the ozone layer, and that's her aura. And the sacred sites that are upon Mother Earth are her power points. And that's what our journey is about, is to create that energy shift with the power points, just as we understand the chakras on our body. So when we have our ceremonies, our indigenous ceremonies, we gather around one that is sick. And particularly with the Lakota, we followed the Buffalo Nation, and this is what they taught us. When somebody is sick, we circle around and we give them our energy so they could stand. The mothers understand what I am talking about, because when you have a sick child, you hold that child with all your heart, and you can heal that child with your love. Each of us have that ability to contribute our energy, and that's what we're doing here today, because all over the world, as much as we've been working for 9 years, people are gathering at sacred sites, and they're connecting to your spirit so that we can heal something great for our future generations. I thank you for coming here today and offering your heart and your minds. And I ask you to be a leader in your communities, a leader in your families, to help them to understand the importance of contributing to the future of our generations to come.
I've been drawn here, just like everybody here today, many people. I've been pulled to this very special place for this very special gathering.
I hope that in the coming days together, we can reflect on how we are to lead our lives in this world and how to pass it on to our children. I hope we can further our understanding by learning from the wisdom of native people. And June 21st will be a day for all of us to make our commitment to the past we are choosing, as well as a day for us to take the first step. I send my deepest gratitude to everyone for spending the time, money, and most of all, your hearts to come here. Thank you very much.
I love you, Earth.
愛する地球よ。
I love you, Earth.
愛する地球よ。
You are beautiful.
あなたは美しい。
I love the way you are.
ありのままのあなたを愛しています。
I know I never said it to you.
今まで言わなかったけれど。
But I want to say it now.
でも今伝えたい。
I love you. I love you. I love you, Earth.
愛してやまない地球よ。
I love you. I love you. I love you now.
そして今も愛しています。
I love you, Earth.
愛する母なる大地よ。
You are beautiful.
あなたは美しい。
I love the way you shine.
輝くあなたを愛しています。
I love your valleys. I love your mornings.
いくつもの谷も、そしていくつもの朝も。
In fact, I love you every day.
いつも愛しています。
I know I never said it to you.
今まで言わなかったけれど。
Why? I would never know.
なぜ？それはわからない。
Over blue mountains, over green fields.
美しい山々や緑の野原に向かって。
I want to scream about it now.
大声で愛していると伝えたい。
I love you, I love you, I love you, Earth.
愛してやまない地球よ。
I love you, I love you, I love you now.
そして今も愛しています。
You are our meeting point of infinity.
あなたは無限へと続く道。
You are our turning point in eternity.
そして永遠の中の分岐点。
I love you, I love you, I love you, Earth.
愛してやまない地球よ。
I love you, I love you, I love you now.
そして今も愛しています。
琉球諸島の現在生きている信仰の特徴というのは何なのかという、これが
Nature and ancestral worship characterize the faith that is alive in the Ryukyu Islands. I believe this is common among all native people. In nature worship, all natural phenomena such as the sea, mountains, rivers, grass, trees, rocks are regarded as gods. I believe this same concept existed in ancient Japanese culture. There is a Japanese word that I really like, Yaoyorozu no Kami, meaning 8 million gods. There must have been 8 million gods present in this country. I think they are gradually losing power over the years. Still, in the Ryukyu Islands, everything is still regarded as God. Right now, the gods of the Ryukyu are sending a typhoon here to Fuji. For the Okinawans, the typhoon too is a god. Every year, despite the advances in science, the notion that the gods of nature rule our lives is present among the Okinawans. In Okinawa, there are sacred sites called the Utaki in almost every corner of the forest, or in the castle compounds. We are not supposed to move or take anything from the Utaki, not even a small pebble, a single blade of grass. It is said that if one breaks this taboo, one may suffer a fever or become ill.
今でもそういうタブーが生きています。
アーボルさんは、ダイアローグとおっしゃいましたけれども、
I mentioned that ancient Japanese culture has similarities with native culture. This said, I believe there's something that the Japanese have forgotten, and that's the idea of diversity. I think we Japanese are unconsciously destroying the diversity of our species and culture.
そういう古装文化が現代に生きていく場合に大事なこと、そしてこれは先住民の運動の中
We must begin to protect this diversity. The spirit to protect diversity is present in native cultures, including the Okinawan and Ainu cultures.
近くのうちに、滅ぼしてきてしまったところがあるわけなんですけれども、そういうものを今後保っていかなきゃいけないし、そういう精神が実は先住民文化の中にあり、沖縄文化の中にあり。
I think today's gathering is like an orchestra of such diversity. Perhaps the word orchestra implies the sense of organization too strongly. Rather, it's the sense of harmony that I can feel. Still, the word harmony conveys organization, but there are areas we cannot get close to. Yet, I believe there are things that we can share and feel something resonate in our hearts and bodies. I can feel that we have been able to reach such a place of heart today.
体や心で響き合うものを感じ取ることができる、そういう場を今日は持てたというふうに感じております。
At the Nature Activity Center, 6 sites were set up in the lush forest, where events were held according to different themes. Here at Site A, time passed in a relaxed mood around the central theme of storytelling. Stories by Lakota and Eskimo elders and stories about Mount Fuji were shared. There were also Ainu design cutout craft and beeswax candle making workshops.
なたと私が微笑み交わしてるイメージできるあなたの瞳が光を映し出す大地の叫びが響き放たれてるイメージできる宇宙の祈りが私に溶けてくる
Be Good Talk was held at the Camp Center. Here, speakers explored the theme of sustainable lifestyle through movies and talks. At Site B, free food was offered to all visitors. The theme was, "We are all sisters and brothers on this planet. Let us share instead of take, so that we may achieve world peace." Over the 3-day period, kitchen volunteers provided over 10,000 meals. The supply of food came from donations throughout Japan.
あなたが歩く道私が歩む道違うけど同じ星の上にある一つあなたが話す言葉私が話す言葉違うけど同じ心伝えたい一つ Dan da 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 dan da dan da 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 dan da.
Site C provided presentations of ideas on how to live in harmony with the Earth. The Earth is a planet of water. The sun nurtures all life. All life is connected. We humans are part of this circle of life, together with the trees, waters, soil, and insects. As a way to remember our innate sense of connection, Site C presented technologies we can incorporate into our lives. Displays included a dish reuse system, recharging of mobile phones using solar battery, use of rainwater, use of waste cooking oil, composting, solar cookers, and natural building materials were displayed. The auditorium was decorated with the World Peace and Prayer Day Children's Art Show.
Let's keep our hearts together as one, and let's make tomorrow the greatest day. The key words are rhythm, balance, and harmony.
Over 700 volunteer staff from across Japan came to support World Peace and Prayer Day. We could feel oneness of heart there. On the 20th, staff gathered in a circle for an early morning prayer. The rain began to fall harder. Events continued to be held outdoors with the help of volunteer staff and participants. The rain increased, and the weather forecast announced that a typhoon was approaching Mount Fuji. While events were being held at the Outdoor Activity Center, a prayer ride and walk began from the Fujisan Hongu Sengen Taisha Shrine. The walk headed to the Asagiri Arena. For the Native American people, to walk on Mother Earth is a form of prayer for Mother Earth and Father Sky. Many walks have been held in the past and continue to be held as a form of prayer and ceremony.
As we walk today, I encourage you to remember all the people that are having a hard time. There's a lot of sicknesses and viruses that is upon us today. And today, there's a war that's going on in Iraq. I went and prayed there with other spiritual leaders and religious leaders. And before I came up here, we went to Mexico City. And there's some runners that are coming from Alaska running towards the south tip of South America. And today they're running into Mexico City. So remember the people there running. And back home in our Lakota territory, there's a ride that's going on right towards Little Bighorn. And anyway, I was supposed to be on a ride on horseback, but they're doing a ceremony on June 25th. But they're going to pray with us on June 21st on the ride. So there's a lot of people riding on horseback or walking, running, and the Spirit is with us today.
The Women's Storytelling Circle, planned at Site A, was moved to the Outdoor Activity Center due to rain.
This is my home right now while I'm here, because Mother Earth is here and she's my mother, so I'm home right now. Thank you.
Today, I celebrate my birthday with you. I'm 66 years old. What I have learned in these years is how beautiful we are in our differences. Like snowflakes, we are no two alike. What we must learn is how beautiful we are just as we are. What I have learned is that power comes from being who we really are inside. Power doesn't come from being stronger than another person. Power comes from expressing the beauty of our sacred gift of who we are. I sit here in a line of powerful women. I know these women, and I know their power comes from their humility and their respect for life.
You are the children of the rainbow. We are all Great Spirit's children. Think with your heart. If you feel yourself getting unbalanced, always, always come back to the place of love. World peace begins with a smile. And this is aloha. Mahalo gozaimashita.
ありがとうございました。
I'd like to share with you, as it was said before, we always long, or we always would like to sing something from our hearts. I don't know how to sing, but 2 years ago, I saw a circle of angels, and the angels were saying these words. If you can imagine, I'm just going to tell you how the angels looked. It was a beautiful white circle, and the wings of the angels came from above the head down to the ground. And these angels danced in a sacred circle. And this is what they said, towards the one,
一つに向かって
towards the one,
一つに向かって
towards the one,
一つに向かって
compassion,
慈愛の心、共感する心、
towards the one,
一つに向かって
towards the one,
一つに向かって
towards love,
愛に
towards the one,
一つに向かって
towards the one,
一つを目指して
towards harmony,
将来を目指して
towards the one,
一つを目指して
towards the one,
一つに向かって
to all,
みんなに
illuminated,
そして輝くように
towards peace,
平和に向かって
towards the one,
一つに向かって
I come to find out later that these words are from the sacred book of the Quran. And it was the Christian angels that were singing that. And it was on the seventh day of 9/11. Mateusz? Mateuszna? Mateuszna. Thank you.
So we have the different levels all working through all of the quests, and we're coming back into the time of the Divine Feminine. So if women come to understand the energy of love through heightening their vibration for healing all aspects of fear, no matter what aspect of life that you carry it in, you will return to your divine order, which is love. So from the aspect of evolution, we're coming towards the end of the patriarchal era, and that's why we have so much turmoil within ourselves. We have to come into polarity of the mind and stop giving the mind the control when it is only an aspect of the bodies. We must return to the balance of spirit. As we gather at these gatherings all over the world and the sacred sites, we are honouring the Divine Feminine. We are returning to our unity within one, which is the law of one. The principle of the patriarchal era was that women were to close their throats, stay silent for a 2,000-year period. The energy of the Layla, the solar plexus, was to close down so they wouldn't feel how they were acting. So in conclusion, what I say to you is that we all have the ability to heal ourselves. We all have the ability to share our own divine knowing. We all have our memories from our past lives, our trainings, our understanding. And the older you become, the more you know you have to heighten your vibration and bring forth your wisdom. And what I request is that you consider the essence of the path, which is to live in love, and to know me is to love me, and I wish you all to be the same.
That's why when you come to New Zealand and you meet Māori people, you will do this act at a greeting. And what this is to remember the first human being and the lesson that she teaches us that the lesson that she teaches us, that no matter what lies behind us and no matter what lies before us, what is most important is what lies inside us. And that is why all of nature, trees, birds, animals, understand this wisdom. But one of the gifts that Tāne gave us was the gift to forget. But the mother understood that we would do this, so she gave the ability to remind us how special life is to the trees, to the birds, to nature, to everything around us. And so, like she plants the seeds for nature in the earth so they can grow and be strong and be peaceful, she also seeded into us this special seed for peace. And what we need for that seed inside us to grow and to bloom and blossom and become beautiful and become fulfilled are things that are related to creativity, art, music, singing, kindness, compassion, peace, sharing food with one another. All cultures have this. We all share this. And so if you feel you are forgetting, just go to the nature, go to the trees, sit quietly, do some art, make some music, and you'll remember the seed inside you will grow and blossom. And this is what I want to share with you. My story is finished here, and to finish our story, I want you to find a different person to the person you had before, and I want you to share your breath with them. Now you all do it.
シマフクロウっていうのはフクロウのことで、アイヌ語でコタンコロカムイと言います。
In the Ainu language, we call the owl Kotankoro Kamui. The owl is a god that protects the villages and the forest. The salmon is the god of the ocean and the fish. This is a story about the mountain gods and the ocean gods.
山でばかり暮らしていた私は退屈しきっていたので浜の方へ行ってみようかと思って飛んでいきました。
I became bored of living in the mountains, so I flew down to the beach.
浜辺の木に止まって沖の方を見ていたところ
While I was looking out at the ocean from a treetop, Kamuichep, a group of fish gods, approached the beach from the ocean.
神の魚の群れが上がってきました。真っ先に上がってきた鮭神が恐れ多い神様がいらっしゃる。静まりなさい。
The salmon god was the first to arrive, and he said, "Listen, everyone, this god here is the most respected god."
ところが最後にやってきた鮭が言うには何の神だ
However, the salmon that was the last to arrive said, "What god? You mean something with eyes as big as that is supposed to be respected?"
はい、カムイユーカラというものを読みます。今のね、紙芝居もカムイユーカラ。
I will read a story we call Kamui Yukara. The picture story you just saw is also a Kamui Yukara. The Kamui Yukara is a way to pass on our stories and teachings so that they are easily understood. For us Ainu, Kamui Yukara is something that teaches an important spirit. Our ancestors did not have writing. Through the stories, they taught children to live in a good way by using the animal gods, who can be both good and evil. Today, there is less chance for our families to gather together with the grandparents and listen to the Yukara. In the old days, the traditional Ainu home, called the chise, only had one big room. There was a single fireplace called the inunpe, and this is where people gathered around to eat and tell stories. Grandparents and children were always together.
ここで物語をこうやって語り合ったり、をしました。だからいつもみんなが見える距離におじいちゃんおばあちゃんがいて、
For the Ainu, children were considered kamui, or gods, until they were able to speak.
言葉が喋るまでの間はカムイであって、カムイは村みんなで育てるんだという意識の元の中で
The entire village was to raise the kamuis.
育てられました。もちろんそういうこういう知恵を与えてくれる
The wise grandparents were called ekashi, or elders, and the ekashi held an important position in the Ainu culture, as they were the ones who passed on the wisdom of the gods.
なぜ富士山で WPPD なのか。で、富士山は私たちにとって聖なる山だというふうに言われてますけれども。
Mount Fuji is said to be sacred. I would like to talk with Mr. Aquino about the reason for holding WPPD at Mount Fuji and the origin of we Japanese as people.
アイヌの人たちが富士山をどういうふうに考えるか、あるいは沖縄の人たちがその天皇制の象徴であった富士山のことをどう考えるか。
I think we need to explore the meaning of holding a ceremony for peace here at Mount Fuji. We must find out how the Ainu people regard Mount Fuji and how the Okinawan people regard Mount Fuji. More recently, the mountain was used as a symbol for Imperial Japan.
アイヌの人とコンタクトを取り、あるいはウルマの国の沖縄の人とも話し合って、アイヌの方が言うには、アイヌ語で富士のことを富士っていうのはおばあさん、太鼓。
In the Ainu language, the word Fuchi means grandmother. Some say that maybe this word later became Fuji. The names of great volcanoes across Japan, such as Asama and Aso, are Ainu names. The Jomon people chose to live at the foothills of volcanoes, which were considered sacred.
The
only word we have to describe the Japanese archipelago is Nippon Retto, which is a literal translation. Unlike the Native Americans who call their continent Turtle Island, we don't have a word to call our own archipelago. First, there were many islands. Then those in power began to cover these islands with a great big carpet called Japan. The Okinawans and the Ainu were finally covered with this carpet after the Meiji era. So there are only a few hundred years of so-called Japanese history following the completion of this process. The original concept of the nation of Japan began over 1,000 years ago, in a very small region in western Japan. Eastern Japan was inhabited by native people. The carpet called Japan was gradually laid across the archipelago over the next 1,000 and some hundred years. In this historical process, Mount Fuji first appears in Japanese history around the end of the Nara period, towards the Heian period. Until then, those in the ancient cities didn't even know of the existence of Mount Fuji. The peoples of Western Japan learned of Mount Fuji after they began to conquer the peoples of Eastern and Northern Japan in a campaign called Ezo Seibatsu. Massive military forces were sent to the east, and it was they who first made the so-called discovery of Mount Fuji. They say that Mount Fuji is a shrine for a goddess called Konohana Sakuyahime. Konohana Sakuyahime is a name of a goddess from the southern island of Kyushu. Why did she become the name for Mount Fuji, located in the middle of Japan? This is something that has not been discussed in the long history of Japan. I think we can safely say that Mount Fuji embodies a goddess. Native people across the world view volcanoes as female. We have lost the original name of the goddess of Mount Fuji, who is the spirit of Mother Earth. We have been educated to unconditionally believe the carpet called Japan that has been laid across the archipelago. When asked who they are, native people answer, "I am a human being," that they are a human being on the earth just like everyone else. However, when asked who they are, the Japanese answer, "I am Japanese." We were born as human beings, educated to become Japanese, and now exist as Japanese. We have never questioned this. They say Mount Fuji is a sacred mountain for the Japanese. Is that true? As Mr. Urakawa mentioned earlier, do we really think that a country that continues to practice military training, shooting artillery at Mount Fuji, considers this mountain to be sacred? The dirtiest sacred mountain in the world, Mount Fuji could not be registered as a World Heritage Site because it was covered with trash. This is how we have been treating Mount Fuji. It has been regarded as the source of business. Native American people often say, when all sanctity is lost, a price tag is put on everything. I feel from the bottom of my heart that a movement such as WPPD, with the support of the wisdom and the energy of native people, becomes a chance for our spirits to touch what lies below the carpet called Japan.
The walk arrives at Yamamiya Shrine. The original Sengen Taisha Shrine was located here 1,200 years ago. The shrine has no buildings. From a simple prayer site atop a small hill, people pray to Mount Fuji. The walk arrived safely at the Shiraito Falls Rest Area with the cooperation of the Fujinomiya Walking Club.
いい歩きができたことを心から感謝したいと思います。
昨日見つけた新しい参道といいますか、ちょっと自動車道から離れた道の入り口に私先行ってますので、ここで、神社に入る爽やかな道を通ってもらいたいと思います。あとは他のスタッフはですね、これから下へ下りますけども、また明日からですね、天気悪いですけども、無事にお帰りになれるように心が祈っています。本日はどうもありがとうございました。またよろしくお願いします。
あなたを呼びに来た世界にあなたが必要
Cultural exchange and symposium were held at the Outdoor Activity Center. Dances and songs from Ainu, Okinawa, Hawaii, and Native American cultures were presented. Music and dance open our hearts and give us joy. Participants felt one another's culture with their senses, making connections without boundaries.
How we can heal ourselves is to love ourselves and love all other people around. It's very simple, but for why we make it tough, big trouble for ourselves, we just need to think good, clear, have that good feeling inside, where we can have love for one another. So there'll be no more anger, no more wars. Where our children don't have to go off to war. So it has to come within ourselves. Spread that love and compassion around to each other. Reach out to someone that is having problems. Talk to them in a good way, a nice way. Give them a smile. Don't be afraid to show that you feel good, that you would like to help them. I'm a grandmother that loves to hug. I hug people. Because when you hug each other, your hearts meet. way down the hurt, the anger that is there, and make you feel good. We're the little people. But it's the little people that can make a difference in this world. And right now, I feel so blessed to be here. And I want to thank you people for your graciousness, your kindness. You've been so kind to us that I felt as soon as I got here. You are beautiful people, so remember that we can all make a difference together. Let's stick together and make this world happy in a peaceful and gentle manner. So I ask the Creator to bless you and keep you, and ask you to listen to your hearts. That's what
the tribes, indigenous tribes of Alaska are singing this song that says they will one day open this box of knowledge and wisdom that was left in our care. Our understanding somehow evaded us, but now the time has come when this, especially when the natives are singing this song, they're not natives in the Anchorage, Alaska. They keep asking us, Uncle, where is this box? Who has this box? Is it in the museum or the university museum? They really want to know. And so the answer is, this box is a symbol for the permanent memory of the Alaska Indigenous tribal members. In this story, this message is directed at the honored members of nations who cannot speak the language. Because you must remember the ancient language of our ancestors. They hid all the life skills, survival skills in our permanent memory. They hid all the answers and solutions that you would need to survive in this era that we call space age. And those who go back to their tribe to relearn the language, once they understand the language, they can speak it fluently, then they will have dreams. In the dreams, they will receive instructions how to become a pure spiritual being. Once this is achieved, you will have further dreams that you will listen to the ancient language. This prophecy was given. You will hear the ancient songs pointing to this day. So the answer for those who understand the language, we too begin to understand what has to be done. And so the answer to this is we must know ourselves so well. Remember, we are human beings. Once you become spiritual, you will become more than human. You will understand the language, the ancient dialect that points to us, the things that has been prophesied in the future. Like the Honorable Chief Arvel Lippenhorst, he said, you will one day see things you haven't seen before. You will hear things that you haven't heard before. You will feel things that wasn't there before. And some of the natives are already doing that. So this is the message that was aimed at those who cannot speak the language fluently. So once this is done, then you will begin to understand the ancient prophecies that was given in the ancient language.
The walk continued for 20 kilometers, arriving at Hitoana Shrine. The shrine is a cave considered to be the womb of Mount Fuji. This is a sacred site for the Fujiko faith, a faith that began in the Edo period. Here, its founder, Kakugyo Fujiwara, is said to have attained enlightenment. For many Native American tribes, the horse is a sacred animal. Many horse rides are held as a ceremony for prayer.
Hey, Wopula, thank you for making this sacred walk towards Mount Fuji and the ceremonies that we're going to hold. There's a lot of people who are very anxious, and tomorrow is the main day, but this is part of the journey that we're doing, part of the ceremony right now. Walking and riding horseback, and that's the way long ago people deliver message, is through a spiritual walk or a ride. They say that when you make this sacred journey, then every time you walk, then every time you take a breath, you honor our relatives in a sacred way. They say that every time people come together, it's unity, the spiritual unity. But we got to remember that every time there's something positive, the negative is just as much. Each and every one of us, because that we're human, sometimes we get tired, or sometimes we start to feel negative energy. But make sure that you maintain your positiveness. So we have come this far, and now we're going to pray at the sacred place, then we'll go to the sacred site. So I'd like to say thank you for, I know that as human as we are, we could be doing a lot of different things, but because this is a very sacred time that we spent together, I'd like to say thank you for allowing that time for the Creator. God bless.
There are 4 gates to Mount Fuji, and this is the western gate. This is Mr. Makita, the Fujiko priest from the northern gate. After his talk on the Fujiko faith, we will pray together.
Before my talk, I would like to greet Hito Anasama and Mount Fuji. Please join me if you like.
Makita Tadato to iimasu.
Hello, my name is Tadato Makita. Some call me Kikori. I live in Fuji Yoshida at the northern gate of Mount Fuji. I am an Oshi priest of the Fujiko faith. I study the volcanic caves and lava formations and work as a nature guide to Mount Fuji and its lava formations.
At the camp center, Be Good Talk was held.
Thank you for joining us in this scattering for peace and prayer. We Japanese say rain is unfortunate, but rain is also a blessing. I believe that is how the native people of this land felt. Konohana Sakuya Hime is the goddess of Mount Fuji. She is a spirit of the cherry blossom. She also possesses a strong power from the waters. So I feel today's rain is a sign that she is happy. I'm a priest serving this mountain goddess. At the summit of Mount Fuji is a shrine where we priests take turns as a sentinel. Please visit our Okumiya shrine when you come to Mount Fuji. You may feel many things, a sense that we are part of nature, this, I believe, is the best way to live. The cells in your body can be renewed, become full of life. Thank you.
Led by indigenous representatives on horseback, the walk left Hidoana Shrine, heading to Asagiri Arena, the site for the World Peace and Prayer Day ceremony. Many World Peace and Prayer Day participants welcomed the arrival of the walk, forming a large circle.
I made a last-minute decision to join the walk. I thought this would be a once-in-a-lifetime experience, so I walked in prayer. At times, it was difficult and I felt I could not make it. But with everyone's support, I am very grateful that I was able to complete the walk. The last stretch of the walk was especially difficult, and I had to struggle with myself. I had to overcome my negative feelings. When we walkers approached the goal, everyone welcomed us and thanked us. I felt it was I who had to thank everyone. I was very grateful. The walk made me remember things I tend to forget in my daily life in Tokyo. In Tokyo, our concerns become very narrow. Our thoughts tend to be focused on ourselves, how others treat us, our parents, our partners, and so on. Although my friends are gentle at heart, they seem to be caught up in this mindset. It's hard to explain, but I feel that if they experience this wonderful feeling firsthand, I think we could connect with one another. It would have been really great if more people could have joined us today to feel this sense of togetherness.
On June 21st, summer solstice day, a typhoon named Mother of Thunder directly hit Mount Fuji. World Peace and Prayer Day ceremony was held in the pouring rain. Over 4,000 participants prayed together with looks of peace.
To everyone who made World Peace and Prayer Day 2004 Japan possible, on June 21st, our ceremonial grounds at Asagiri Arena was hit by a typhoon, as if it was just waiting for this day. The typhoon lapped everyone with the same rain and mist, and the rainwater ran down over our bodies and seeped into Mother Earth. The circle in the arena was held tightly together in prayer. Often, tears well up in my eyes as I saw the great circle of people across the mist. There were countless volunteer staff that couldn't join the circle, but they protected our prayer circle too. At the entrance gate, at the parking lot, at the free food kitchen, at the security station, at the headquarters. And beyond that, there were many friends across Japan and the world that had prayed together with us. My heart overflows with gratitude and awe as I think that it must have been the power of their prayers that kept the circle tight for so many hours. In the middle of the strong typhoon, suddenly the blue sky opened and we saw a hog harbor above us. This felt like the work of all the prayers around the world for peace and harmony. I send my deepest gratitude to everyone who supported World Peace and Prayer Day 2004 Japan all the way to the end. Let us walk the path of peace and harmony. Each of us is responsible for creating the world. Let our step be in prayer together with all living things. For all our relations, in prayer, Yoshie Rihara.
Ano ai me ke aloha nui a oko, o wau o Joshua Lanakilo ka ainai ka pono mai wau. And we are coming to you from the Hawaiian Cultural Center of Hamakua, located in the plantation town of Honoka'a, in the district of Hamakua on the island of Hawaii. Velina me ke aloha nui a oko. We are on the northern slopes of our sacred Mauna Ua Kea. And here at this cultural center, we help to hold a place for our community who cannot always be or go to the journey to the mountain, but a place that we help to hold the essence and the sacredness and images of our stand to protect that wahipana right here, where our community can now come to connect. So we welcome you to this space. Aloha.
Aloha mai kākou. We're so happy. We feel very connected to all of you out there, and we would like to engage and invite all of you into this space with us. So we are right now all on the Mauna. And our connection to all of you was World Peace and Prayer Day in 2017, where it was hosted here on the island of Hawaii, Mokuokeawe, at the Luapele and the volcano, and also on the slopes of Mauna Ua Kea at Pu'uhonua o Pu'uhuluhulu. So for us this year, we would like to remember how it is that we came to be connected with all of you. So mahalo to Chief Orville Looking Horse for first writing an article about our mountain and reminding everyone that Mauna Kea is indeed sacred, and giving us the support that we needed at that time as we were rising to safeguard Mauna Ua Kea, and which we are still doing at this time. So from that moment, it was sealed on the Shinnecock Reservation in New York in 2016 in June, when Hokulea sailed into New York. And we made the commitment and the pact to host World Peace and Prayer Day on Hawaii Island. And there we gathered for the most beautiful connected prayers from around the world for all people. And so we are very happy to say that yes, again, we will be participating in some way in ceremonies and celebration, and indeed our pule, our prayers from Mauna Kea and from the Pai'aina of Hawaii will connect to all of your prayers. For world peace, we stand together. Mahalo nui a kākou.
Wat jundu mutlas iskul kakla kus tunamen tu mutlas ist atlalama kus wat kat kamawala ojal dat mikwa snimut eil ogamich kus ka nuk anam ist atlalama kus wat weed ka mawal a kinchauna kintakam.
Well, the grizzly bear is a real spiritual bear to our people. It's sacred. For thousands of years, the Statlian people have lived with bears successfully. All my life growing up, I was taught that the bears were our brothers. So we were taught that the grizzly bear is the one that taught our people how to survive on the land. They taught us what foods were good to eat because we all eat the same foods, the bears and humans. They taught us which medicines to eat by following and learning what they were eating. The bear is our brother. To not have the bear on the land is something that's really hard to fathom. As our teacher, our medicines, and our spirit guide will be gone.
When the bears are in the meadows and they're digging, they're turning up the soil, they're planting the different plants, changing the way the structure is. When the grizzly bears aren't there, the ramifications go to all different kinds of things. So the pollinators are affected, there's fewer flowers. The water can't get into the ground because it gets too hard, where when the bears are digging, there's holes and structure and changes. The soil is looser for plants to grow in, for the water to infiltrate in. So the bear really has this important role to play in maintaining the ecosystem, not only for itself, but for many other species on the landscape.
It's time that we start giving back to those same grizzly bears, that same bloodline that has brought us to where we are. I have to make sure that I fight for these animals that are out there for my future generations so we can actually continue the practice of being St'át'imc, being Ukhlumu, being who we are and what we did on the land, and showing it that respect and that compassion, because we are the managers and we need to step in and actually manage the lands.
The Grizzly Bear Recovery Project is to implement the St'át'imc Chiefs Council resolution, and what that is to protect the grizzly bear in the St'át'imc territory.
We've been taking an active role with grizzly bears, trying to improve the situation. So we've been monitoring some female grizzly bears, we've set cameras, we've used collars, and we're trying to understand what the bears need so we can develop the best possible strategies on the landscape.
What we do is we carry these brown paper lunch bags so we can collect scat. We take a GPS point and then we put it on the bag from where we find it. And if we know that there's a grizzly bear in the area, then we can get the DNA off of the bear scat.
The grizzly bear is the stewards of the land, the guardians of the land. They're tilling the land so that we can get the same plants that they're eating. They're spreading the seed. They're helping to ensure our own survival within St'át'imc territory. And once our stewards of our land are gone, what is left for us?
This is the meadow where Jewel's last live points were recorded. So the day before she died, the hours before she died, she was in this meadow, using this meadow, and she's no longer with us.
Walking through this meadow right now, it's kind of a lonely feeling because I know that in the past there was bear here. I seen the evidence, and now that is gone. So it feels like a family member is gone from the area.
If we don't take serious action in the next 5 to 10 years, the risk is the bears will be gone from the landscape and potentially gone forever. And are you prepared to live with that? I guess that's the question that we need to start asking ourselves.
Right from the time the settlers came into our country, there was a fear of the grizzly bear and the bears in general. There was the feeling that they were competition rather than helpers. grizzly bears and bears in general were just shot, some for trophy and some just being a nuisance, and some because there was fear that they were taking the settlers' food.
Human-bear conflict has resulted in the loss of at least 6 female bears in this unit over the last 10 years. And those impacts are staggering. Every female, that means all of her cubs are lost too. So if we're going to make a difference, the time to act is right now. We need to manage people on the landscape and the impacts on the habitat and support the bears so that recovery is possible.
And the Statlium do have the opportunity right now to help the bears to recover to a viable population. South of our territory, the bears are pretty much extirpated. It's important that we start taking our lessons and using them to support and enhance the grizzly bear population.
Halka, my name is Tohochika Waka, Anton LeBrake, and once again I am honored to be part of World Peace and Prayer Day. World Peace and Prayer Day was held here on the Sequan Indian Reservation on June 18th through June 21st, 2018. We began with a sacred prayer walk-run from Pacific Ocean to Sequan on June 17th, 2018. There were walkers and runners from various reservations such as Sequan, Viejas, Barona, and Mesa Grande. We met on shore early in the morning, collected some water, ocean water, and a canister and began the walk and run and with prayers led by Chief Orville Looking Horse. We ended the day approximately 5 miles from the reservation. June 18th, 2018, we continued the sacred run with walkers and runners relaying the water into the grounds in which the ceremony would begin. Each day we had different groups of bird singers to share with the people our songs. We would like to express our deep appreciation to Sequan Band of the Kumeyaay Nation Sequan Council. would also like to thank those who kept us fed and happy. Sequan Catering Department, Mary Aloise Schmidt and family, Angelia Zayas, she provided healthy snacks as well, spoke on how food is medicine. Some of those who shared good words with us were Paul Quero from the Campo Reservation, Alima Leigh McFarland, and 350.org San Diego. Would like to also thank Steve Garcia for keeping the fire lit for the 4 days.
On June 21st, 2018, after the closing ceremony was held, we were made aware of a detention center that was housing children that were taken at the border from their parents. We went down there, we all offered prayers and songs to let the children know that they were not forgotten.
year, we will light the fire in prayer to ensure our children, grandchildren, and future generations will have an understanding of balance of spirituality, respect, honor, love for Mother Earth and all mankind. Hi, hi. Like one more, yeah.
Wajay, my name's Jenny Shamanik, Miko Esenek and Ibikishkwe, Red Stem Snake Woman, and I'm from Moose Cree First Nation, the Moosonee-Rideau, Mushkegowuk territory up in the James Bay Lowlands.
Kway everyone, I'm Pete Bernard from the unceded Algonquin-Sipekwakinegon First Nation. Part of that traditional territory is where we are now in our nation's capital of Ottawa, Miigwech.
So we're right now in Manotick, Ontario, and we're at Misoway Relations Healing Lodge, which I'm the caretaker for. And this place was birthed as a sacred space for people to come together in unity, and was created with the idea of bringing everyone together in healing. And I really got to wanting to create this space because of this man who's been my mentor, my healer, my teacher. And so I'm really honored that him and I are here together today, and that we will be a part of World Peace and Prayer Day in unity and solidarity with Chief Arvo Looking Horse and his wife Paula, and people around the world that are gathering out of concern for the welfare of our earth and humanity, and will be coming together in prayers to offer prayers and healing for Mother Earth and all our relations. And so Pete and I will be gathering on summer solstice, and we will be starting with the sunrise ceremony here, and we will have the sacred fire burning all day for people to make virtual tobacco offerings.
And we'll be offering prayers on behalf of the planet and for the people who are on that planet. So as people begin to awaken, as corporations began to awaken about the impact that they have on our Mother Earth. So all of our environmental issues are always human issues. We can be doing things better, we can be doing things a lot more cleanly. Something that the COVID world has awoken us to is a very visible impact that we're having, and how quickly the planet can heal when we're forced indoors. So we're going to be doing prayers for the planet, we're going to be doing prayers for people who are struggling through this time because of having to remain indoors and to social distance. We're going to be here for you to do healings, to offer our medicines to you.
So we will be going live. We decided to start at noon when the sun is the highest in the sky. We think that's a powerful time of day, often when a lot of our grand entries happen during our powwows, which we're sad aren't happening this year. But virtually, we're all still able to connect in spirit. And so, you know, we're very honored to be able to be of service and again to share in the message of Chief Arvo Looking Horse about how much our planet needs us to awaken, as Pete says, and how we all are needed to contribute our medicine and healings and start to help her shift into a healthy and thriving planet again, which we all need. So this day is also about honoring our sacred sites. The earth herself is absolutely sacred in her entirety, the sacred hoop in which she represents. But for me, you know, a sacred site is the Moose River in my homelands. Much of my upbringing was on the land, and we depended on this waterway for our hunting and our fishing. And right now, when I go home for the spring hunt, we find that our river system is really low. And I know that is due to climate change and land erosion. And, you know, we're worried about the ozone layer depleting and the aura of the earth being sick. And so, you know, these are things we want to bring to people's attention because, you know, we're one with the water. I feel like the water in the river flows through me as much as the blood in my veins and is a very huge part of my existence here. And, you know, right here in Ottawa would be your falls.
Right. The sacred Chaudière Falls that resides in Algonquin territory, that was a meeting place for a lot of the nations to come together to meet and to trade and to have ceremony together, is currently slated for commercial development for condominiums. So most of the Algonquin people are drastically opposed to this. So we're hoping that cooler heads can prevail and that people can realize that this is a sacred site, that this is not some place where we should be developing. And it's just part of the commercialization of our planet. We have to realize is that if this Mother Earth dies, if this Gaia dies, we die. So it's in our own self-interest to be the best caretakers, as Jenny said in her opening, of this planet, of this world, and of each other. So I think sometimes we've lost that. We've lost ceremony, we've lost meaning, and there comes a point where we all have to get involved and not just do our part. So we're asking for everybody to begin to awaken, to realize that you have power, that you have say, that you can speak your heart, and that truth can be born into this world to help make it a better place. So we hope that you're able to join us on this day in ceremony or from wherever you are.
And I think, as you mentioned about this time of COVID, you know, we've all really been forced to really slow down and think about the impact that we've had. And, you know, I, for one, spend most of my time outside earthing and grounding to her energy and reconnecting to that relationship with her again. And I think that's kind of what this virus is all about, which is making us really reconsider what became a normal for us, and we can't go back to that normal anymore. And really, you know, our relationship with her is the most important one that we can have, and that really brings us home to ourselves, is right, and having that relationship to the heart-centered work that we're here to do. And 2 heart-centered women in my life will also be joining us for summer solstice ceremony, and that's Elder Minnie Matouche. She's from the Cree Nation of Mistissini, and she will be bringing her pipe and will also be offering prayers and songs. And Mary Claude Charland of Ojibwe and Mohawk descent, also from the Quebec province, will be coming to the lodge to join us in ceremony as well, and we'll be sharing some of her teachings, and we'll be sharing in drumming and singing as well. You know, maybe we could talk about the sacred feminine, because that's what I think everybody's forced to embrace right now.
Yeah, and I think the sacred feminine ultimately is that return to those things that give life, not the things that take away or detriment to any life. So we're talking about the health of the planet. We're talking about that quality in every person that wants to mother, whether you're a man or a woman. It's that you want to help birth something into this world that is good, that is sustainable, that's going to help the generations that come after us. So as Anishinaabeg people, it's our job to dream for the next 7 generations that come after us. And you know, the 2020s are going to be a difficult time for a lot of people, but we can get through it. So as Jenny was saying, COVID has taught us a lot about what we don't need, what we can survive without. And there's no normal to go back to. We can go back to a healthy, we can go back to a meaningful, and we can definitely return to the sacred feminine for sure, which is empowering our women as leaders and as caretakers of this world and carriers of water in the jobs that they need to do. So we're trying to come back into balance, and the only way that we can do that is that we need to embrace the change that has been thrust upon us in this time.
And, you know, really giving consideration to all our relations. That in itself is a prayer of oneness. You know, this lodge, Misoweni Relations, came from all my relations in Cree, which is Misoweni Wakamukanak. And, you know, that is about we all share in the sacred Hupa life, and we haven't been giving consideration to any of the plant and mineral relations that we share this land with. And right now we're seeing that they're able to thrive without us because we've had to get out of the way. And we're seeing less smog, and we're seeing more fish, and we're seeing all these beautiful beings that we really are supposed to be living with in a much more beautiful way, and we haven't been. It's been in a very abusive way as well. We're seeing them come out, and they're our greatest teachers. You know, we really have to learn, we have to relearn how to live with them again. And, you know, our prayers are for them as well, and that we all need to begin again a very respectful dynamic and learn how to share this land with them. So I'm really starting to feel this wonderful shift already starting to happen, and I really hope people awaken to that and to the animal teachings that cross their path every day, and really start to understand the medicine and meaning of each and every one of them that they experience, and the beauty and that connection that we can have.
And it's also for us to leave our reactionary ways of how we respond to crisis. Whenever something happens, we try to fix the problem after it's already happened. And this premise of returning to the sacred feminine is about preventing things from happening before they happen. So just living more proactively and coming back into relationship with what's meaningful, family, friends, real connections. I think that's what we're all craving. So during this time, the crises that have been thrust upon us socially and environmentally are causing us to find our voices and to speak. They're causing us to look for meaning in our life. And what could be more meaningful than having a healthy planet that can have some place where everybody can come together? And we can do this. You know, this meeting that we're going to be doing at the lodge, you know, there's going to be Cree representation, Ojibwe, Mohawk, Algonquin. This is how we were always supposed to be. We were never one thing. We all had different names, maybe different ways of doing things, but at the end of the day, we're all one. And the sacred feminine is returning to that one, the birthing of the one that is everything. So we hope that you can join us, or that you can celebrate in your own way.
I think the biggest teachings that are coming out for so many people as they sit with all the emotions and issues that are coming up is to really start to see themselves and each other with compassion and grace. And, you know, again, all sacred feminine, all about vulnerability, the need to forgive, let go. And we can do all of that. You know, we have to learn to let go our burdens and that negative energy to the earth. She is our #1 healer. She can pull that energy out of us, and then she can revitalize us with positive energy and antioxidants, and just through the energy of her alone. But then we eat her and we build from her. And this is just a time I hope that everybody takes to start to make prayers, asking for forgiveness from everything that we've just been blind to and have hurt in just our human ways of forgetting the sacredness of our relationship to her. So it's a turning point.
And it's really a choice, like as a human race, do we want our past coming with us into our present? Do we want our past to become our future? And the answer for all of us is no. There's always been a healed way forward, a better way forward, a more sustainable way forward. And we're at that point now. Many of the scientists on the planet realize that we are in a crisis, and if we don't make significant change, we are going to reach an impasse that we are not going to come back from. And this is not something that is an issue of technology issue. It's a human behavior issue. And so we can all find that better part of ourselves and stop looking for everybody else to fix the planet. You know, we have to support our children who are interested in learning about ways they can heal the planet, the way they can do things better, the way they can do everything a little bit better, a little bit cleaner than what we could. Because I think that's what's required right now. That's what our mother needs.
Mm-hmm. And each and every one of us, you know, this is about humankind as a whole, all colors of us, all of our differences get set aside when we just look at the fact that we're all children of the fire, and we're here and we have an important job to do right now. And maybe we can offer a prayer, a message of peace right now, and how we know we have the ability, each and every one of us, to do our part in prayer with an intention for harmony. We each have a responsibility to offer that right now. And that's, you know, again, what World Peace and Prayer Day is about, recognizing, you know, are you waking up every morning in humility and looking up to Grandfather Sun and bowing down to Mother Earth and offering your prayers and dedicating your day to moving forward and walking in a good way? We need to find that peace. We need to find that balance and that harmony again.
And we're really trying to understand that peace is understanding what we're fighting with and why. And what do you get if you continue to fight? What do you hope to achieve? So we often try to say, Jenny and I, it's not really a matter what are you fighting for, what are you peacing for? What is the peace that you're trying to create in your own life? What are you trying to get as an outcome? So knowing that and just setting aside some of the conflict that you're fighting, because it's not all necessary. Maybe there are some battles that you need to fight, but there's a lot that you need to simply just let go. They're not going to make your life better. They're not going to make anyone else's life better. So peace begins with you. It begins when you decide that you're no longer going to fight because you're tired or because it's not going anywhere. So the blessings that we can offer you is just that awareness, is that it doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be conflict. It can be as simple as walking away. It could be as simple as not saying something that you want to say. Everything begins somewhere. It always begins as a thought, an idea, and then it builds up in our body like a vibration, like in the drum, and eventually it becomes a song. So is that a song that we want to sing together, a song of peace, or a song of love, or a different way of being? That's what we're becoming.
So maybe I on World Peace and Prayer Day, I will be drumming and I will be singing, but I'd love to offer a song now. Because we're talking about the earth, I would love to do my favorite song that I sing for her, which is Strong Woman Song. And I sing it for all the women, the sacred feminine, and for all of our men to feel that sacred feminine that they carry as well.
Oh Orville Looking Horse, 19th generation, keeper of the sacred white buffalo calf pipe. I live on the Cheyenne River Reservation in South Dakota. Being a Native American or First Nations, I was raised with the stories that were told that helped us throughout our life. I was very strongly taught the old stories that were told among the elders when we were very young. And during that time, our traditional lifestyle was outlawed. I always talk about that because a lot of people never knew stories that were written in the schools and taught the children how Columbus discovered America, and he came to this new world that there was nobody living here. We have our sacred teachings. In our tradition, our language is based on spirituality. Everything is about life, how sacred life is. From the time we were able to remember the teachings, it was no like harsh teachings. It was all about love and respect and honor.
Action. Anin, Nindijinikaz Wapishkimigwan, Nindude Magizi, Zagasad Jamaikag and Dunjaba. My name is Dan Wapipa, my clan is Eagle Clan, and I'm from the Leech Lake Band of Ojibwe natives. So we want to talk a little bit about World Peace and Prayer Day and how we got with World Peace and Prayer Day. We're given a call by Paula Horn and asked if we wanted to take on this World Peace and Prayer Day. And it's quite a big event to be able to pull off. You know, we're able to pull it off in a fantastic order with, as far as I know, very little adverse reactions. So we were able to raise $30,000 in a few months and then even have $1,000 left over for our storytelling event. So that was beautiful. But I really want to express on how important World Peace and Prayer Day is and what it does around the world. So what it's doing is it's waking up these sacred sites around this Mother Earth. And this Mother Earth needs healing right now. And it's up to us as human beings, as the people, as the human beings, to be able to heal this earth through our actions and through our thoughts and our prayers. So that's what this is all about. This World Peace and Prayer Day is reinvigorating these sacred sites. It's been described that the peace poles around the world are like little acupuncture spots, you know, around the world to bring healing and to bring focus to that healing. And right now we're at a phase. Right now is what I grew up in the American Indian movement, and there's certain things that we adopt as that. And one of them is the Hopi prophecy. And part of the Hopi prophecy says that we are transitioning from the white medicine bundle right now, which is the fire medicine bundle. And there's many different kinds of fire. There's Migizi, Ishkure, the Thunderbird fire, that when lightning strikes, it's a very sacred fire. There's the fire that we are in our home, the Anishinaabe Ishkudes and the Ishkudeg, and that's the fires that we have. And then there's electricity, the white man's fire. And so that's where we're at right now, as the white man's medicine bundle is the fire medicine bundle. Maybe I should start at the beginning of that. The first medicine bundle was the black medicine bundle, which is the water medicine bundle. That's life. You know, then the second one was the yellow medicine bundle, which is the wind medicine bundle. That's us coming into consciousness, us coming into our thoughts. The third medicine bundle is the fire medicine bundle, which is the white medicine bundle. And that's sophistication in our thoughts. That's sophistication in our actions. Now we're coming in, we're in transition point right now during this COVID-19, during this predator-plunderer extractive society going away, and we're moving into the red medicine bundle, which is the earth medicine bundle of the indigenous of the Americas. And that medicine bundle has been well taken care of. For an example, the Inca alone have developed more varieties of food than all the tribes of Europe. So that's how we took care of our medicine bundle. And we're transitioning right now. I was told at a Medicine Man conference when I was a teenager that we're going to see the change. It's going to come in our time, and we're going to be here to witness it. And this is it. I always wondered how it would look like, you know. Is it going to be global warming rearing its ugly head? Is it going to be the loss of 60% of our insect life since the 70s? Is it going to be 90% of the oceans fished out, compounded with Fukushima? Is it going to be the massive loss of the animals around the world? Is it going to be the 10,000 extinctions every year? Is going to be a combination of all of this with COVID-19. So even with COVID-19, the CO2 that we put into the atmosphere, which the world has been shut down, the CO2 being put into the atmosphere is still not enough to meet the Paris Climate Accords. So even though we have massively cut everything, the Paris Climate Accords we're not meeting that standard. And that is very unfortunate. And that gives you a stark reality of the situation that we're in. And so we feel that the human beings are power. For example, Medicine Man was given power from the spotted elk of the north. Now, spotted elk of the north could not give another spotted elk of the north power to heal. They could only give that to the human beings. So we have this power within us. We have this power to change. We have this power to remake, to create, because we've been infused by that with the Creator. And so it's time now that we must honor our women, is that these women come into circles together and they start gathering their power, because this transition is going to require them to be in leadership right now. So this World Peace and Prayer Day goes all around the world, and it engages with tribal communities, engages with communities. The one following us was in Hawaii. I wish I could have made that one. That would have been fun. But Jamie, who you'll hear, she was there and appreciated it. So we want to thank you all for participating in what turned out to be an incredible event here in the Rogue Valley. And we have, as Red Earth Descendants, have been honoring this World Peace and Prayer Day for 25 years. You know, we used to sit down with Dave Chief. Dave Chief was a respected man on the council of Lakotas, and we miss him greatly. We miss him dearly. When he was gone, he used to have me pour his lodges for him, and so we had a good connection. And so, this was in honor of Dave Chief, and we want to preserve that memory of that who has taken care of us for a long time. So we also want to bring out our cultural ways towards people so that they can adopt this, incorporate this in their lives however they may. Because it's these earth-based cultures, it's earth-based ways that's going to return us back to being a human being, that's going to help us to walk that true path of what it means to be a human being, to be giving, loving, kind, compassionate, receiving, all of these things that helps us to be human beings. That's what we want. We want this for society. This giveaway society that we are envisioning right now that comes with this Red Medicine Bundle is where we look laterally for power. We look laterally for truth, that those who are at our shoulders. When we're in a circle, there's nobody's voice is more important than the other. And so that's what this is about. We're gathering in these large circles around these sacred sites and re-infusing these sacred sites with these prayer, with this power. And that is going to bring healing to the world. So I encourage you all to, wherever there's a World Peace and Prayer Day event, go to that event. You know, I encourage you to start your own World Peace and Prayer Day event, because we all need to engage and re-engage with what is sacred, with what is natural, with natural law, and learn about that natural law, learn about how to contribute to life. So without hooved animals, no life. Without birds, no life. Without trees, no life. Without human, life abounds. But it would be a much sadder life.
Greetings from Red Earth Descendants, home of the 2015 World Peace and Prayer Day Gathering. We're the folks who hosted Orville and Paula and the World Peace and Prayer Day family for the 20-year celebration gathering of World Peace and Prayer Day. We had a wonderful place to have it. We hosted at up in the mountains east of Ashland at a park, Jackson County Parks, place called Howard Prairie Lake. Gave us kind of an additional bonus of having be the intersection of Shasta, Takelma, and Klamath tribal lands. in this area, and I won't speak to that because I'm not of any of those tribes, that there are disputes about boundaries, but we were very fortunate and lucky to have the blessings of all three tribes, and so that was our first step, was to gain the blessings of the tribal people to host the gathering on their lands. This is something that we always acknowledge. It was quite an undertaking for us when Paula originally called me and asked if our organization might be willing to host that year for the big gathering. I was hesitant at first. I definitely knew that this was going to take collaboration and community to be able to pull it off. And I told her, I was very honest with her, we were down to kind of a handful of volunteers at that time for our organization, which is a community service organization. We happened to be changing gears a little bit at that time in 2015. We were downsizing from some of the big projects that we were doing and moving in a different direction. So we were really down to just kind of a handful of active volunteers. And so I did tell her we would take it to our community and see if people were willing to step up and help. And wow, were they ever. I think I sent an email out to our Red Earth Descendants listserv, asking, can we do this and who would be interested? And I think within 12 or 13 minutes, I had the commitment of three really powerful, hard-hitting elders in our community that they'd be willing to help. And so it was a go pretty much from the first moments. And I went into it thinking this is really going to be a special thing, and it certainly was. But to say that, to have our entire community involved in it, we literally had probably 200 people that were on organizing committees and active helping us raise funds and doing all that. It took an enormous effort, but we are so grateful that we had the opportunity to do this. I just want to pause for a moment and reflect on the vision of World Peace and Prayer Day. I was fortunate to catch part of Dan Wapipaw's radio show yesterday on KSKQ Community Radio, 89.5 FM. I'm going to give him a plug for the show. It's First Nations Radio. It's every Friday from 2 to 3 p.m. And it live streams, so you can catch this on their website, so KSKQ Community Radio. Anyway, he interviewed Orville and Paula yesterday, and it was such a perfect kind of cornerstone for me to listen to this, because after all these years of our organization helping to host these prayers and these circles, following Orville's instructions, and also following the instructions of our elder in our community, Dave Chief, for so many years, it isn't something that we often, well, I should say this for myself, it isn't something that I often think about, the original vision, the original prayer. And it was a super good reminder for me yesterday to see this and to hear this and to hear that story, which I've heard many times before in Orville's words. But it was especially poignant yesterday during this extreme unrest that we're going through right now as a country, as a nation. So as a nation of Americans, and then being part of the indigenous communities, it is just incredible to see how the country is responding to change right now. And as I was thinking about this, it came to me that Orville's vision has always been the same. He has said in so many eloquent and different ways and has shared this vision. And it's so important for us to remember how simple it is and how beautiful it is. And it's about uniting people to have a conscious shift in what we prioritize in the world. It's so simple, and that's really the beauty of it, is the simplicity. And so as we engage in these shifts in consciousness, we also know that they have to be followed up with action. We can't just offer our prayers to the sacred fire and then walk away with it without taking action. And so our message to people as a grassroots organization and as helpers to this endeavor is to encourage you to take action on every front that you can. It's making a difference right now. People are waking up, and this is, as Orville has been saying for over 25 years, this is a crossroads time, and we're really starting down another road. And this is just a phenomenal time to be able to start making those changes and to stay in that prayer. So this is just a plug for, let's do this together. We've been talking about it for years. Now it's going forward. So many changes happening. Very happy to be part of this. But back to our, Paula wanted a little bit of a history of our, what we did during our 4 days for World Peace and Prayer Day. And so I have that we had actually 5 days in our case, because our first day started the day before the 4-day ceremony, which was an opening ceremony to remove the sheath of the peace pole that sits in Medford at the U.S. Cellular Park and to transport it up to Howard Prairie and put it in front of the stage where we had the peace pole there for 4 days. That was a real blessing. We also had community officials present at this peace pole ceremony. Orville came and spoke as we removed the sheath, and we even had the mayor of Medford read not there, but we had a proclamation from him proclaiming World Peace and Prayer Day to be forever part of the culture of the Rogue Valley. These little things that can make a difference in how people view our culture, whether it's our culture, the culture of other people of color, those are steps in the right direction. And they may seem small at the time, but those are such victories for us. And so we got to start, even before our 4-day ceremony, we got to start with the blessings of, some mainstream dominant culture people, which was a real bonus for us. It was a good way to start. On June 18th, this was 2015 again, this was our day of welcoming and making relations. It's also the day that the World Peace and Prayer Day runners made their way from the bottom of Dead Indian Memorial Road. And yes, that's a horrible name, and there are people actively trying to change that name, have been for 30 years. But yes, that is the name of a road in our area. We had to travel that road every single day up to World Peace and Prayer Day. So we had our VIPs and our dignitaries and Paula and Orville and everybody going up Dead Indian Memorial Road to Howard Prairie Lake. What a, that's a disgrace. We're working on that. But anyway, the World Peace and Prayer Day runners started at the bottom of that road and made their way up to the top. It's a long way up, taking breaks and doing it in shifts, where the ceremonial fire was lit and the land blessing by the Maori people took place. Grandma Aggie and David West introduced the officials that day and made a wonderful introduction for Orville and Paula to the stage. We had evening entertainment each night. Some phenomenal people came up and kept everybody active. The second day, June 19th, was the day of addressing the problems of the planet. Speakers included Naomi Karango of Africa, Bob Gao, tribal attorney and activist, Rico Check of Horizon Herbs, Felice, tribal water rights activist, and Mel and Shirley Chartrand, and lots of evening entertainment. And I just want to give a disclaimer right now that if I forget anybody in the listing of speakers, please forgive me. I was extracting all kinds of information off of old emails and schedules and that kind of thing, and please forgive if I forget anybody. June 20th, the third day, was the day of healing the people and the planet, commemorated by a horse ride from Lily Glen, which is part of the Parks Department up in the mountains there, into Howard Prairie. The focus on the medicine of the horse and what it represents for the people. Orville led the ride on horseback, and his riders reached the stage about noon. Lots of speakers about the sacredness of the horse to indigenous peoples of North America. Other speakers that day included Paula, Grandma Aggie, Sandy Whitehog, Mata J, David Zaslow, Eddie Benton Benet, Marilyn Black Elk, the Daneys, Pam Moshermer, and of course our wonderful Maori contingency, which was happy to jump up on the stage at any time that we requested and provide entertainment. Lots of good humor too. That night we also opened up the stage to the community voice for local community leaders to speak. And we hosted a multicultural evening of entertainment with Jackie Bird, traditional singer, Miss the Chief, reggae band, and Daffy Puyak, exceptional storyteller. Daffy also told stories on another day as well, and just absolutely captivating. June 21st, World Peace and Prayer Day, the day of ceremony. In the morning, we hosted Sandy Whitehawk's adoptee ceremony. And of course, the afternoon was a complete focus on the World Peace and Prayer Day prayer at the fire circle with a traditional salmon bake hosted by Grandma Aggie and her family.
I'm going to sing a song, and in this song, this is speaks of our mother, Ina. Ina, Ina, wa'uelo, Ina, Ina, wa'uelo, wa'uelo, Wichozani wa yo inayam inayam wa uwelo inayam wa uwelo And that song says, well, we wish a good life for you all. We Chozani Wa. There's good life going out. So as we want to become human beings, as we strive to become human beings, we don't know what that road looks like. We look towards people who are the least colonized, because the colonization is what's happened coming from the tribes of Europe in the forms of religion and capitalism and racism. We live in a systemically racist country here in the United States, written in the papers of the government. So that's where we're at, and we as human beings, we as Native peoples want to contribute to this time that we're living in. Our elders say that we were got to choose our parents, we got to choose the time that we were here, and we even got a brief glimpse of the potential of our life. The Creator held each and every one of us in its hands and gave us a medicine before it handed us down here to this world. And so in my language, Abanuji is baby, but what it really means is someone who's been placed down here for a special purpose. In our language, old man is Akiwenzi. That means earth caretaker. Woman is Ikwe, a representation of the earth. Grandmother is Mindumuye, she who holds it all together. So that is within our language. This culture is within our language, and we need to develop a new culture, because the culture that exists right now is not working for everyone. We need an equity-based culture. So I want to thank you all for listening to this and listening to the words of the Native people and attending World Peace and Prayer Days all around the world, wherever you have attended or wherever you will attend. And we want to keep these going. We want to give support to those who have started this World Peace and Prayer Day as well. So go up to the website, worldpeaceandprayerday.org, sign up, hit the link, pay some money, because our organizers, they can't eat blankets, they can't eat tobacco, so they need help. So thank you all. Miigwech. How.